Hi, I'm Jeff DeRiso from Beckman Collaborative, and today I'm going to show you how to create a workflow in Zoho WorkDrive to create a predefined set of subfolders when a folder is created. I'll even show you how to trigger this WorkDrive workflow from an existing workflow in Zoho CRM that creates a folder for a newly closed deal. So that way, when your deal folder gets created, it will automatically be populated with all the necessary subfolders for your team to collaborate. And we'll achieve this all without writing a single line of code. So let's get into Zoho WorkDrive, and I'll show you how it works. So here we are in Zoho WorkDrive. You can see we have workflows here on the left panel. So here's where we would see specific workflow actions that are assigned to us. Within WorkDrive, we actually have the ability to assign different actions or inputs from different users in your team. So if there were actions assigned to me for a specific workflow, they would show up here in this main tab. So when we go through workflows, you'll see where that comes into play. So let me go back to our team folder here. So in our team folder, we have a folder called deals. And what we want to do for this use case is something very simple. We have a workflow in Zoho CRM that's going to create a folder in this deals folder every time a deal is set to close one. And I'll show you that workflow in a minute. So what we want to do is once that overall deals master folder gets created, we want to create a set of predefined subfolders. And in this templates folder, we have something called deal folder template. And here's the folders that we want to copy into that deal folder that we make for each deal when it's reached the closed one stage. So, and then within these folders, there can be other ones. If we click into this deliverables folder, you see we have other folders within it. So you can have a whole set of folders within folders and create it as a template and then use it in your workflow. So that's what I'm going to show you today is how to automatically populate these folders and the folders within them into the deal folder that gets created automatically from Zoho CRM. So let's quickly go over to Zoho CRM and I'll show you the workflow that creates the folder for each deal. Okay, here we are in Zoho CRM. We have a very simple workflow rule. When a deal is closed one, modified to any closed one stages, we trigger an action by Zoho Flow. And actions by Zoho Flow are a way to trigger actions within third-party applications from things that happen within Zoho CRM. So what I've done is I've created this deal master folder, and I'll click new action just to show you how we do it. So we type in WorkDrive, the name of our third-party application, and create folder. Click next. Choose our connection, and you can create a connection if you don't have one. And then name our action. Click create. And here is where we can insert our variables just like we can in Zoho Flow if you've seen my previous videos on Zoho Flow. So we name our folder and we want to add a unique prefix here. You may or may not want to do this. And then we'll simply take our CRM deal name, but you can insert any values you want here from your CRM deal. And then we choose the destination folder. In this case, it's in the general team folder within the deals folder. Then we click done, and I've already done that, so I'll just click cancel. And that's how the workflow works in Zoho CRM. So what we want to do in WorkDrive now is once this master folder gets created, we're going to automatically populate all those subfolders within it. So let's go back to Zoho WorkDrive now. Okay, so in WorkDrive, to create a workflow, we go to our admin console on the bottom left here, and then workflows. You can see we've created a test, and there are 3 predefined workflows based on common use cases for review and approval. So let's just look at one of these just to see how it works. We'll view the workflow. So within WorkDrive workflows, we can create fields and assign different members of our team to fill out different fields related to a file or a folder So that's what makes this different from CRM workflows. We have this ability to create fields that are unique to the workflow itself. And then when we go to the next stage, which is design workflow, it actually looks more like a blueprint. If you've watched my previous video on blueprints in Zoho projects, there's also blueprints in Zoho CRM. We have a very similar screen here. We have states and transitions between those states. So the file gets sent for approval, and we have actions that happen. The file that triggers the workflow, it's sent to the recipients, and we can decide what happens during and after each of these transitions. It gets submitted for changes, and we can decide who's going to do the actions and what's going to happen before, during, and after each transition. So you see this screen is very similar to the blueprints builder that we have in Zoho projects and Zoho CRM. So check out my video on blueprints, and you'll have a pretty good understanding of how this workflow builder works. So I'll go back. So the workflow we're going to build today is only going to have one state. It's very simple. It's a very simple use case. So it's something that you can start with very simply and build as you go, as you want to add more complexity to your workflow. So we click New Workflow. We'll call it Deal Master Folder. And this is going to be a folder-based workflow because it's triggered based on a folder event, a folder being created. We also have an option to create a manual workflow. We have automatic or manual. Automatic is based on triggers, similar to the way it works in Zoho CRM and other Zoho applications. And then manual works based on a user trigger as basically pressing a button. So this is similar to having a custom button that you can automate an action based on a user triggering the action. But in this case, we want it to happen as soon as the folder gets created. Those subfolders are going to get created. So we're choosing automatic and folder based, and we'll click create. And here's where we can add fields. But for this workflow, we don't need to do that. So we're going to just go to the next step and create our first state. And for this workflow, we really only need to create one state, and that is going to be create subfolders via template. And we'll click create. Now we just drag this to our start, and we grab this little circle here and drag it, and the arrow connects. And that creates a transition automatically. So now we name our transition, which will be Deal Master Folder Created. And we choose our trigger. So in this case, it'll be when a folder is created, because that's the action that's happening from our Zoho CRM workflow. And we select the folder we'd like to monitor. So that means which folder is the folder that's being created inside of. So we know that we're creating our master folders within this deals folder. So we're choosing our deals folder as the folder that we want to monitor. And the other thing we can do is we can actually add a condition to this trigger. For example, if we only want this workflow to apply to certain types of folders and not all folders, we can add a condition here. So for example, we can say the folder name starts with deal underscore and click apply. So we can pick and choose which folders we want to apply the workflow to. Now we click create. Okay, so we've created our one state and our one transition, and now we create our actions. So if we click here on our state, we have instant actions. We click add, and we have file actions and folder actions. And what we want to do is folder actions and copy. So we select our folder to copy, and we select a folder from WorkDrive, go to our template folders, and we select our master template folders. So each one, we're going to do this for each one. So first we'll do our deliverables. And for our destination folder, we select folder that triggered this workflow, because that's where we want to copy this master template folder. So we'll click save, and we'll do the same thing again for the other three folders. Okay, so now I've added my 4 actions, and when this copies these folders from our template, it will also include the subfolders within the main folders. So what's going to happen is that the new deal master folder that's created in our deals folder is going to look just like the template folder when it first gets created. So now we've essentially completed this workflow. So we'll go to the next step, click go to next step here, and we then enable the workflow and click activate. And we can always come back to the admin console and come to this screen and deactivate it. We can also click manage and track workflow and see stats about it. So now let's go in Zoho CRM and move a deal to the closed won stage and see both workflows in action. Okay, here we are in our deals module of CRM, and I will select a deal here. And let's move this deal to the closed won stage. Okay, now let's go back to WorkDrive. Okay, we're back in WorkDrive, and let's check in our folder to see if our template folder got created correctly. We'll go to our team folder, our deals folder, and you see we have the deal prefix and then the deal name as our folder name. And when we click into that, all our subfolders have been successfully created. And if we click into our deliverables folder, you see the subfolders within the subfolders have also been carried over. So that's how you trigger a workflow in WorkDrive from a workflow in Zoho CRM. And you see how powerful this can be. And this is just a very simple use case of creating subfolders. We can, of course, build onto that workflow, and we can get input from different members of our different departments to take the next steps for fulfilling on this deal. So that's how you create a workflow in Zoho WorkDrive. It's a really easy way to automate a simple, repeatable task to save your team some time. And when we connect it with the CRM workflow, you can start to see how you can create an integrated system of workflows that trigger each other sequentially. And you can sort of create a unifying business logic that runs across all of your Zoho applications. The other thing I want to mention is if you do not see the workflows feature on your Zoho WorkDrive, you can reach out to Zoho support and they'll activate the feature for you. In some cases, if you have existing workflows in Zoho Writer, they'll help you migrate them to Zoho WorkDrive. So I hope you got something out of this video and that you can implement it in your own business. Please leave any thoughts or questions in the comments, and please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.